All right, all right, all right. What is up? Hey, welcome to Carl's Collects Comics. I am Carlos, and I'm hanging out here with you tonight. We're going to do just a short live stream where I'm going to give some personal collection updates and some goals that I've got coming up for the next for this next year. So I'm just going to run through them with everybody. This is live. This is not a pre-recorded video, and like I said, this is This is just a Friday feature live stream to go over my personal collection goals for 2023, and also to give an update on the personal collection stuff that I had showcased with everyone this time last year, because I did publish a list, and I'm going to go through the list and show what I got, what I didn't get, and why I didn't get it. And then I'm also going to show some of the ones that didn't. I don't think people realized that there was a second slide when I first published these, and I'll go over those and which ones I didn't get of those. But hey, thanks so much for being here tonight. I'm glad that you are doing well. Mary Jimenez, I see you. Good to see you here and have you. There's just going to be a couple of us here tonight, but hey, I'm glad to be here with you. Like I said, this is going to be an informal kind of chill hangout. I'm not going to keep this one going very long. We're going to get right to it, and we're going to be talking about personal collection stuff, and then I'm also going to just give a couple of thoughts on like just goal setting for comic collecting, because I know for me, as somebody who's on a budget, and on a budget's getting even tighter because with inflation, groceries are more expensive. Like a pound of meat is twice what it was 2 years ago. So every penny counts a lot more. So I have to be a lot more strategic about it. So I'm just going to share a little bit about that. But thank you guys for hanging out, the couple of you that are here right now, and then those I'm sure who will catch this on the live stream, on the replay. I know there's a lot more. There's a lot of other Friday night YouTube action stuff going on, YouTube shows going on. So, but I did want to still do this one and share it because we have been, I think since the year started, every Friday night there's been a new video going live. So hey, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. Hey, what's up, Hector? Hola, good to see you as well. Hey, El Green. El Green's popping into the chat. What's up, El Green? So hey, yeah, so like I said, I'm just going to be going over, this isn't going to be a very long live stream, but this is live. It's not a pre-recorded. And I'm going to be going over the personal collection goals I had set for 2022. And I'm going to be going over a couple of the choices I've made to pursue for 2023. And there's a couple of carryovers as well from 2022. So let me go ahead and switch this. Let me go ahead and switch this over so y'all can see it. Because some of y'all, this was from last year. So if you're a newer viewer if you're less than a year old viewing the channel, then you might not have seen these. So these were my goals for 2022. I dropped a green check mark where for the ones that I did get. But then there was, as you can see, there were several that I did not get. And 3 of those were pretty high dollar ones. 2 of them did drop off in price. And because of the, and I'll get into those in just a minute. But I'm just going to basically go from left to right and share about each of the ones that I got, share the copy, and if I remember right offhand what I, kind of the price range that I paid for it. So, but hey, thanks for tuning in tonight. And if you're watching this on the rewind, make sure and drop a comment if you have questions. I'll try to answer it for you. So the deal is, let's go to number 1 on the list of the personal collection. These were collecting goals I set, I think, in December of 2021 for books that I wanted to pick up. This is 13 books that I wanted to pick up. Plus, there was a second slide where I detailed that I was also going after. I was trying to finish up my G.I. Joe run and my classic X-Men run. I wanted one Golden Age horror book, and then I wanted to get a Golden Age Batman book. So those were 4 additional goals. So it was a total of 17 goals that I had for the year. It was quite ambitious, So yes, they are, El Green. They are very spendy. There were some high dollar books, and I think I even might have said that I I didn't expect to get all of them because of the budget, but I wanted to have a bigger list I was than I was looking for. So I, had options because a couple of these came like in really random ways, and I'll get to those in a second. Let's see, Hector. I found Hero for Hire in an old boxing garage from when I was a kid. Surprisingly, came back. CGC 8.5. Hang on to that. That is an excellent low key book that nobody's paying attention to right now, but I am convinced that could be one of the most fun characters to do something with. In the future. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of Hero for Hire. So as you can see, I'm just going to start top left and start going through the books. So the first one on the list was the Demon #1. This is the first appearance of Etrigan the Demon. He is a Jack Kirby creation. All right, so I did pick this copy up. This book I think came in the second quarter of the year and of 2022, and I think I'm putting this at about a 5.0. But I paid a premium for this one because, and I'll go ahead and take it out and let y'all take a look at it. The deal is that when I was talking to the seller about buying this, I asked the seller to check the staples and the inside pages, and lo and behold, the seller found something inside on the front page. Being super, super careful with it. So this obviously changed the trajectory of the discussion about the book. I am a big fan of raw signatures. It's not for everybody because there is inherent risk because you never know 100%. And even if you sent it in to get certified with CBCS, but I took pictures of it. I sent them out to friends, to other fellow collectors, multiple people that you're probably familiar with, both from this channel and from others. And I said, hey, what do you think about this signature? Does it look legitimate? And yes, Hector, we matched it to several copies of his signature that were available online. And so to the best of our knowledge and my knowledge, it's legitimate. And it's right, the type of ink and the stroke of the pen and the placement of the signature, i.e. on that front page on the bottom, all of those were consistent with it being a real Jack Kirby signature. So obviously it elevated the price of the book beyond what I had initially thought to spend. I think originally I was going to have gotten the book for like 70-ish. But I, obviously Jack, so we went back and forth a little bit. And the price did go up, but I was okay with it. The other thing is that where is it? Oh, I've got it in a box down here. So I bought two books together in a lot. This was, this was the bigger one, obviously because of the Kirby signature. But the other one was the first appearance. It was a lower grade copy, like a 3.0 copy of Marvel Premiere 15, which is the first appearance of Iron Man. I'm going to bring this up on here so you can see that. The first appearance of Iron Fist, not Iron Heart. I think I said Iron Heart. But the first appearance. Let's see. Okay. So the Demon here was the bigger book, but then the same seller had a low grade copy of Marvel Premiere 15. We worked out a deal for me to buy both of them. And I feel like it was a fair deal. It might have been at a premium. Both are going to have to be pressed and signed. I am actually, ironically, the Marvel Premiere, I'm going to get it pressed and cleaned in order to have Roy Thomas sign it when he comes into town for PowerCon. or Power Show, sorry, Pop Culture Power Show, which is a local convention put on by the Strictly Comics channel, and so I'm going to be there to support. And Roy Thomas, who is co-creator, is going to be there, so I'm going to have him sign this copy. It's a low grade copy, and one thing that elevates value of low grade copies is a signature of one of the creators. So I didn't know about that at the time. I just really have always enjoyed the Iron Fist character, and I wanted to pick him up. So those two came together in a lot. So that is The Demon #1 and Marvel Premiere #15, the first appearance of Iron Fist. You can see I've got green check marks over those. So the next book up that number 2 on this list was Spider-Woman. First appearance of Spider-Woman, Marvel Spotlight 32. So this one was actually, I put this at about a 7.0. It needs a press and clean. Got a very good deal on it from Edwin Price here on the who's over on the Strictly Comics channel. And he approached me, and this is one of the reasons why I'm an advocate of publishing, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, whatever your social media of choice is. But this is why I'm a big fan of publishing a want list for the year, because it helps boost the word out, and you actually have deals come to you. And that's the case with this book. Edwin Price saw it on, because I was publishing updates of these regularly on Instagram. He saw that I was looking for a Marvel Spotlight 32, and I'd watched it, and he'd had it priced a bit higher, so I felt like it was a little bit too high and more than I wanted to pay for that specific book. But he contacted me. He said, "Hey, I've got a killer deal for you," and he had knocked like $25 or $30 off the price. And I said, "You know what? Yeah, let's do that." So this was Marvel Spotlight number 32. And that was this was the third book. Now, chronologically, though, I'll just stay in this order. So, Strange Adventures number 205. This was a book I'd really wanted to get a copy of, and I actually had. This was yet another case where I published my updates, and somebody approached me about this copy of Strange Adventures number 205, which is the first appearance of Deadman. And I put this at about a 3.5. It does need a press and clean. It's got a little bit of like a moisture staining thing here on the spine. It is definitely low grade, but I'm a big fan if it's complete, if the staples are intact and firm enough for me to go to read through the book. Then I will go ahead and purchase it. So I got this from an online seller. He knocked, I think, like $50 off what he was going to post it on eBay for. And so I ended up with my copy of Strange Adventures number 205, first appearance of Deadman. Next up on the list was House of Secrets 92. So this is going to go down as one of my biggest misses just in the past, I think, 5 years of series collecting. I had a House of Secrets number 92, which was easily a 4.5. No, it was being graded at a 4. It was at least a 5.0. And it was at my local comic shop, definitely well under. I think it was. They had it graded at like a 3.5 or so for $400, and it was easily a 4.5 to 5.0 for $400. And I held it in my hands, and I didn't buy it, and I'm kicking myself because that book is a solid blue chip key book, and I had the chance to own a really good copy of it, really clean. Sometimes, and it's, cash flow is something I talk a lot about. Having that money in your account ready to go, or having your low interest credit card or rewards card, or however you structure finance. I'm not a proponent of lots of credit card. We're dealing with credit card stuff right now, but having yourself ready to go so that when those opportunities present themselves, you can go ahead and pick them up. I just didn't have the available cash for it, so I had to pass on it. Now the announcement of the film, that book is even continuing to go up further in value. So I do not have a copy yet, but House of Secrets number 92 is going to be, I think, the one carryover book from my unmet goals of 2022 to 2023. So I'll be looking for House of Secrets number 92. I'll continue to look for it and try to avoid the hype pricing and see what I can find. All right, next on the list was House of Mystery. This is House of Mystery number 156. It's one of the most random characters, but I'm a huge fan of it. Like Hector was talking about, House of Mystery number 156. It's the first appearance of Dial H for Hero. So I picked this up. These are tremendously undervalued. I think somebody was trying to sell me a copy for $75, but I knew that was a bit high, so I held out until I found a copy for, I think, around $25. Picked that up, but then came across another copy for another good deal, so I have two. So I did pick up doubles, and as long as the prices on this book stay what they are, I'm going to continue to stack them, and I'll go into some other books that are what I call like my stackable books, like books that I'll pick up in the $20 to $50 price range. Those are books that I'll just buy multiple copies of to have because I really like the character. And then I can always sell them if I need to. But yeah, House of Mystery, I got two copies of that one. They are a 5.0, and I think they're both in the 5 to 6.0 range. So those are nice books to have. Next up, what's up? I Don't Like Comics. Good to see you in the chat, hanging out with us. All right, next up was, this was a fun story. So this is Incredible Hulk number 102. This is when the book went back to being a solo title for the Incredible Hulk. So it's kind of the first appearance. It's kind of the first issue, but then of course there's Hulk 1 through 6, which predate this. This is a pretty low priced key book to pick up. A really fun one to pick up. So the fun thing with this one was that I went into, it's another one, another situation another reason why I think having a good relationship with an LCS, whether it's virtual or whether it's in person. I went into my local comic shop. And they had some books that were in the process of being graded, and they hadn't been put out yet. And so this Hulk 102 was one of the books. Then also another one of them was my second copy of Marvel Spotlight 2. And then the third book was Detective Comics which one is it? 400, the first appearance of Man-Bat. So these three books, which, they're pricier books, but I got all three books for, I think, about $55. So, I mean, that's an insane price for even in low grade, these three books to walk out of the store with. And it started because I had this collecting goal of picking up 102, and this was all in January of last year. So it was literally right out of the gate. I think within like a week or two of the new year starting, I picked up one of my books off of my list. And, and this is something else I was going to say, is that sometimes there's going to be books of opportunity where you could just come across a book and it's an unbeatable deal. I mean, even in low grade, and this is before Press and Clean, I put it at about a 1.8 to get this book for $15. You hear other people tell those stories and you're like, I don't know if they're being honest. It happens, even at a local comic shop, because it was graded very low. And, I would love to have these books in my collection. So I added them, and I have my detached cover copy of Marvel Spotlight 2, but then to find this one that was kind of moisture damaged but needs a press and clean for at a 2.0, to find this one for $20. Yeah, I mean, it was, and then the Incredible Hulk was for $20. So yeah, it was, yeah, El Green, exactly. It was something where, and the thing was, these were the three covers in a stack that I recognized. There was other Silver Age books in there that I was like, but I just didn't have a lot of available. Like I literally had $60 of cash in my wallet to spend, and I had not gone in expecting to spend it. So I left other good Silver Age books. I left them because I just couldn't afford them, and these were the three that I knew right off the bat. I just knew the covers, and I said, I'm going to go ahead and take them. So, yeah. So these are what these two, along with the Hulk book, were books of opportunity, and that's one thing I was going to say is that we're going to have collectors' goals. And I'm a big fan of having goals in collecting, but you're also going to have situations where certain books, and I'm going to show some other ones. I call them the stackable books, and then other books that are just books of opportunity. Like you come across them and you're like, I can't pass this up because it's too good a deal. And so, okay, so moving on, Hulk 102. Okay, so well, I'm going to snake it down and around. Daredevil #1, Silver Surfer #1, Doctor Strange #169, and Luke Cage Hero for Hire #1. Okay, so the deal with those four books, Daredevil has continued to climb. I just don't have the available cash to drop $3,000 on. And I've shared in my Daredevil video the top 10 Daredevil books. You can go watch that video on the channel. My target collector's price for a copy of Daredevil #1 is about $18.75 is where I put it. But you can watch the video to see like the specifics of why I explained that price. I just remember it was like in the $1,800 range. But I just never came across a copy, #1. #2, never had that much available cash sitting and loaded and waiting to pick up a single book. And #3, we're still, I think at some point during this past year, Daredevil Born Again got announced and the book saw another jump. And I just said, you know what, I'm just going to have to wait. I'm going to have to wait it out. So then Silver Surfer #1, that book has continued to climb. I had a chance to pick one up for about $150, but it had a huge hole in the middle of the front cover. And I just, the person who reached out to me again, because I shared my collecting goals, the person who reached out to me said, hey, you're interested in it. I'll bring the price way down for you. And we talked through it, but the trouble he had in selling the book to upgrade it later, I knew that I was going to be inheriting the same trouble, because a lot of times, we're, as collectors now, where the market is, the presentability of the front cover is everything. And a huge like quarter size hole in the middle of the front cover, I mean, that was going to be a really hard book to upgrade from later. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Hector, I agree about that. I know there's apps. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. El Green. Yes. Yeah, it will. I know it'll go. And that's the thing. These books are cyclical. They're going to go down in price again. So that's why I've always advocated just being patient and don't pay a premium. I've paid a premium before. Like my son was a huge fan of Tokyo Ghost. And so right when the announcement hit, I went on eBay and I bought him a beautiful copy of #1 cover A, but way overpaid it. And it was a 9.8 off the shelf. And then we sent it in to get slabbed. It came back a 9.8. I don't even think Drew pressed it. I don't even think he had to. But yeah, but it's just going to take forever for that book to go back up to what it was, if it ever does. So yeah, so I mean, again, try to avoid the hype and the FOMO. But yeah, so these two books, Daredevil #1 and Silver Surfer #1, I stepped back on because the prices were just going too high for me. Doctor Strange 169 and Luke Cage #1, this was the opposite. I kind of backed off of those books because I saw those prices going down off of rumors and hype. And as I watched those books go down, I said, it's like it wasn't going to be as bad as ASM 361, the first appearance of Carnage, which just like dropped like a rock after the second Venom movie came out. But I just said, you know what? I'm going to step back off of these books and wait. I'm just going to wait because I really think that the prices will continue to come down. And they have. I mean, they've dropped by hundreds of dollars between the two of them. Yep. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, blue chip books always hold value just up and down. Like, yep, they do. It's true. It's really true. Hector says many people flip over and over to save for a large key. Take a lot of discipline and grinding though. Yep, that's true. Yeah, I know somebody who he just got. I bought a book off of him. He hangs out in the in the chat sometimes here. He did that, flipped and flipped and flipped, and he got his key. And you'll never guess what it was. It was an Amazing Fantasy number 15. Nice 3.0 to 4.0 copy. So congrats to him. I know who he is, but I'm not going to, let out who it is. But yeah, he did that. And me, I like to, I'm just kind of shifting my collection. I've always been a little bit more of a DC fan, so you're going to see that in my goals for this year. That it's DC heavy. It's almost completely DC this time. So moving on, we wrapped down around those four. Okay, 3 more left on the list here. Forever People #1. This book amazes me because it's so undervalued. Darkseid is the Thanos of the DC universe, and his first full appearance is like under $100. So this, I think, comes in at about a 5.0. It has a little bit of moisture waviness. But yeah, I picked this up for under $100 because nobody was bidding on it in an online auction on YouTube. And it's just one of those situations. I was the only one that wanted it. I could tell that it was hurting the seller because this was at least at the time at least $120 to $130 book. I'm not sure where it is now, but I mean I definitely got a steal on it. Just a really, really good deal. It wasn't low enough to be steal. But yeah, this was one that I'd been wanting to add to my collection for a while. And again, just waited and waited and waited. And it popped up. Nobody was going after it. So I jumped right in and I won it. So first full Darkseid. It's got some moisture staining stuff, but I know that's all stuff that can be kind of cleaned, and it can be cleaned and pressed up real nice. So we'll see what happens with that one. Let's see. Yeah, El Green, I was really excited about it as well. I want to get the Jimmy Olsen story arc that leads into this as well, but that's later. So Hector, I want first Darkseid 2, but still not sure which one Hobby considers best. Superman's Power, Forever People. Still don't know what you get. My advice on any situations like this is get all of them. Just go ahead and buy all of them. What I'm personally doing, I went for this one first while it's still low, and now I'll be focusing on because there's a run of about 5 issues of of Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen that include in them I think 2 or 3 cameos for Darkseid. Personally, I'm just going to get all of them and add them to the PC and put them under my Darkseid tab and just let it ride. So I always go, if there's any kind of debate, I get them all. And I've done it before, and it's always turned out well because then you don't miss out on one of them. You just go, and a lot of times in that case, you can get the debated ones a lot cheaper. Before like for all the people that grabbed Hulk 180 before this big push for it to be considered the first appearance. People paid super low prices for those up until about a year and a half ago or so. All right, so last couple books. I already showed my Marvel Premiere 15. So the last book on this list is New Teen Titans #2. This is a book that's readily available, and so like I've shared before on the channel, if a book is readily available, just bide your time, keep your money ready. And I got a really nice copy, a raw copy of New Teen Titans #2. I picked this up at one of my local comic shops. I think. This is at least a 9.2 before press. I did pay fair market value for it. I think I paid $120, but if it presses out to, which I really think it can hit 9.4 at least. Yeah, I think it can hit 9.4. So it was definitely a fair price for this book. So this was the last one, and this was a book I'd wanted forever to complete my New Teen Titans run. I just never did buy it. It was one of those ones I just never did buy. So yeah, so those are the books that were on the main list. But as I shared, I did have a second slide that had 4 additional components to my collecting goals. Let's see. Hector says, I think Dark Side is best value out there. There will be big when in movie. Preach, preach. If there's a book that I showed that you can stack up on, it's Forever People #1 and then Superman's Pal, if you can find a good deal on them. But Forever People #1, it's the first full appearance. So, yeah, I think it's well worth getting. Let's see. Come to find out, I have a few good keys I didn't even know about. Hey, that's always the best part, when we find one in our long box that we didn't realize we had. That happened to me too. With a Nova book. It was a 1 in 50 that I bought for cover price at a local comic shop, and it's like a $50 book. Oh, hey, look, Edwin Price. There are several great issues in the Jimmy Olsen run aside from Darkseid. That title and Lois Lane are way overlooked. Agreed, sir. Agreed. Yeah, Superman's Pal, Jimmy Olsen, and Lois Lane, heavily undervalued runs. If you're looking for some nice classic Superman family books to pick up, Edwin Price has got a great recommendation for you, and I'll bet he's got some that he could sell you. Okay, so of the 4 last, the 4 other goals, one of them was to go ahead and buy my first Golden Age horror book, which I did. I think it got it from J1A Bob, and this is Web of Evil number 18, and this is a beautiful 10 cent Golden Age horror book. So I was very, very excited to pick this one up. I think I got it for a fair price. I put it at about a 5.0. It does need a press and clean, but just to be able to sit there and flip through this, I said, man, Golden Age horror, that's an expensive niche right there. That's an expensive one. So, but I was real happy to get it and add it to the personal collection. So, I'd already had at least 2 offers on it, on buying it. But I said, no, I just want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy it and being in my personal collection. The other big Golden Age purchase that, yes, Edwin Price, it is. This is one of the freakiest stories ever, and so I really enjoyed this. I think this is a really fun run. I might pick up some more of them, but yeah. So this book, yeah. So there was 2 Golden Age books on my second tier collecting goals. Golden Age horror. The other was to pick up a Golden Age copy or a Golden Age Batman book from the main Batman title, not Detective Comics, but Batman. So I did come across one at my local comic shop. It was incomplete, however. I'm glad I didn't buy it because the price just kept dropping on it. And then I finally realized it was missing 2 full wraps on the inside of it. Plus the thing was just destroyed. It wasn't even safe to open and flip through. I would have essentially bought it and shipped it straight off to Hero Restoration to start piecing it back together. I do want to get them, but that's a big commitment because you're talking thousands of dollars for even the lesser known ones, for Golden Age Batman. So, but however, it's blue chip of blue chip because those things will hold value for the long haul, and they're always going to be sought after, and Batman is the most popular DC superhero. So I do think it's a good investment. I might keep an eye out for one, but it's not going to be on my immediate collecting goals list for this year. So yeah, El Green, here's the thing. I'm not really into horror. I'm not into modern horror. But bronze and earlier horror, I really am kind of developing a taste for it because there's something, I don't know, there's something still kind of innocent and fun about it that is missing, I think, in modern horror stuff. So not that modern horror is bad. It's not. I'm just saying that I like, especially pre-code horror. That's something I'm really Hey, that's good to know. Most Golden Age Batmans have 44 pages, and they count both covers, inner and outer, as pages. Okay, cool. So yeah, so last okay, so those were two: the Golden Age horror, Golden Age Batman, and then the other two were to continue working on completing my GI Joe run, because if you've been following the channel since I started, I've been working to build a complete run of the original Marvel GI Joe run from number 1 to 155. And I did the last major key that I was looking for was GI Joe issue number 155. This is generally a book that is in the hundreds of dollars to get in a higher grade. But again, I came across a good deal at a local convention. A dealer had one up. This was, I think, the first day. And I approached him, or no, this is the second day. This was the Saturday. I approached him. I said, hey, will you cut me a deal on that GI Joe number 155 that you have on your wall or up on your rack? Because he had, my son had found it, had scouted it out, and texted me and said, hey, there's a whole bunch of GI Joe issues here. I don't think you're going to have these. And he said, why don't you come to this? So I went, and sure enough, what the deal I made with him was, I said, the book, let's see, I think he had this. I'm putting this at about a 7.0, and he had it at 130. And I told him, I will you, if you sell me this book for 90, I will spend 130 total or more on just GI Joe books here. I didn't try to bundle keys with him because I could kind of tell he was waiting for me to say something like that. But I said, would you, if you give me this for 90, $40 off your asking price, but I'll spend that 40 on all these other GI Joe. And I don't think he was really concerned about them, but there were some really good books in there, because a lot of the later issues of GI Joe, those are $15, $20, $25 books in high grade. And he had a ton of those marked for anywhere from $3 to $5. So I bought a stack this thick from him and did spend over 130 there, but I ended up getting this for 90, which was a really good price for this book. And so this here completes all the major keys for the GI Joe run. So now I have all the early issues, all the major keys. All I'm lacking now is filler issues mixed in throughout. So yeah, I was very happy to get that book, because GI Joe is like, it was my 80s cartoon, my favorite. Yeah, I'm going to get some of them signed. I'm not going to be able to get them all signed because that would be just way too expensive, and I can't afford that. But I'm going to get some books signed. So real quick, let's talk about, before we move on, books of opportunity. Like I shared, I shared coming across this and picking this up, the Detective Comics 400. I shared about picking this up, Low Grades Marvel Spotlight number 2. And then this one was another book of opportunity. My local comic shop extends to me the option to put books on layaway. We have a good working relationship. I spend a lot of money with them, so they are more than happy, if my cash flow is tight, they're more than happy to extend interest-free layaway for me to, if I come across a book and I don't have the money at that moment, they will put it on layaway for me, or they'll bundle it and put other ones for me. So this is a low price book anyway, but I just didn't have cash flow for it at that time. This is about a 6.5 copy and does need a clean and press of Marvel Premiere number 28, the first appearance of the Legion of Monsters. Now, I picked this book up about no more than 3 weeks before the first trailer for Werewolf by Night dropped, which revealed that Man-Thing was going to be in the Werewolf by Night Halloween special. So, yeah, I got a good deal on it. I had locked in the price, bought it, brought it home, and I think less than 2 weeks later, it was revealed. And so I believe that there's going to be a version of the Legion of Monsters that's going to come together, because we already have 2 of them here. in the there's already two of them are in the MCU teamed up, and we saw them teamed up together, and I loved it. I loved it. The friendship between Man Thing and Werewolf by Night was just fantastic. It was amazing. So that was another book of opportunity. But then I also wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, I've got some other opportunity books. So if you watch my Silver Surfer book, or if you watch my Silver Surfer top 10 list, you know that yes, Legion of Monsters. It was absolutely a touchdown. Edwin Price. Okay, so this was one. I think this is an undervalued book because of what it is. So I came across this at a local comic shop, worked a deal on it, like a bundle deal. And this was a book of opportunity. It was not on my list for anything. It was on my Silver Surfer top 10 list. And if you've watched it, you will recognize this book. And I think in the video, I think I do explain why I was a big fan of it. But so this is the Silver Surfer ash can from circa 1990, like 2 or something, from I think from the 90s. So the Silver Surfer ash can. Big thing about this book, big reason why I'm such a fan of it. It's Jim Lee wraparound cover, and so the option to have him sign this in silver, oh, man, I couldn't pass it up. I couldn't pass it up. I mean, Jim Lee's my favorite artist, and him on Silver Surfer. I don't think he ever did any more Silver Surfer beyond this. But yeah, if you haven't watched the Silver Surfer top 10 video, you should go watch it. Because I found some really cool books that I was like, oh, I didn't know that existed. But yeah, so this was a book of opportunity that I picked up this year. Then, okay, here's my stackable. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, another book of opportunity was, and this also was bought well before the announcements because it was the end of last year. No, it was actually last summer. I bought this last summer, I think, like in Labor Day or something. Saga of Swamp Thing #1 in a 9.0 or better for super low price. So that was another book of opportunity. Okay, so stackable books. I have 2 stackable books. One of them has now paid off because I will cease stacking it because it's the price has gone up so much. So Booster Gold #1 was one of my stackable books. That's why I was able to have 3 of them. And this doesn't include the one that El Green won in a giveaway on the giveaway show right before the announcement. So El Green literally saw a doubling of value for that giveaway book from 1 week to the next because, every Booster Gold #1 went crazy because of the announcement. So yeah, no, El Green, like you made out like a bandit, buddy. But yeah, but see, that's the thing. Because this was what I called a stackable book, I had a spare to go ahead and give away. And you know about me and generosity. I believed in the book, so I wanted to put it out there in the community, give it away to somebody, and that giveaway paid off. So yeah, this was a stackable book that I'm now dropping off my stacking list. Hot tip: this is my next one. So if you're bidding on eBay for one of these or in an affordable auction, it's probably going to be against me. But my next big stackable book is Firestorm #1. This book has seen slow and steady growth. No. The big person for Booster Gold was Dan Jurgens, and I don't think Emberlyn worked on it. But yeah, no, I don't think there's anybody at the convention that worked on Booster Gold. But however, that's a kind of a separate thing. I do want to try to find Dan Jurgens at some point. But Firestorm #1, this book is crazy undervalued, but it's seen slow and steady growth over the past 3 years as people have realized how undervalued this book was. You could get this book for $15, a year ago. So it's well worth picking up and stacking. Okay, so real quick, let's do the goals for this year, and then we're going to go ahead and cut this bad boy loose because it is way longer than I expected to go for this. But I've been having fun hanging out with y'all. So books that I'm going to be adding to my personal collection for this next year. This was from 2022. This is 2023's. goals. And yes, you're right. There's a lot less books on it. Okay, so first on the list is All Star Comics number 58. It's the first appearance of Power Girl. That book has slowly but steadily seen gains and continue to grow as we've seen more and more of her. I just saw the Art Germ variant cover released today. Oh my goodness, Mrs. Collects will throw me out with the dog if I get that cover, but I still would love to have that cover. Hawkman number 4 is the first appearance of Zatanna. That's another book that is pretty high in value, but we will see a big spike if and when it gets announced that she's coming to the big screen. And I think that that is an amazing character. Both of those are amazing female characters. That yes, they're beautiful and they're sexy, but they're really fun, cool characters, and I can't wait to see more about them. Brave and the Bold number, I think that's 54 or 84, 44, I think. Brave and the Bold, that's the first Silver Age appearance of Hawkman and Hawk Girl. So I'm going to be looking for that book because I'm a big believer in Hawkman and Hawk Girl. I think that they are really cool characters that could get utilized. I feel like Aldous Hodge was very underutilized in the Black Adam movie. So I don't know that he'll get a second shot, but I really believe in the character. You will see the next book is my one carryover from last year, House of Secrets, number 92. Nice. That is good to know. I bought number 1 Firestorm right off the rack back in the day. Very cool. And then let's see. Yeah. So so House of Secrets number 92, the first appearance of Swamp Thing. That book is going to continue to rise in price, but I will continue to look for a clean, raw copy that I can pick up for a good deal. Last one is the first Silver Age appearance of the Atom. I don't have it right offhand which one that is. It's Showcase. Yeah, so that's the first Silver Age appearance of the Atom. I really like the hey, what's up, Agri-Rhythm? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. So yeah, so those are my goals for the year. In addition to those 5 books, let's see, I think 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, in addition to those 5 books, though, I am going to continue to look into Golden Age books. I am still on the lookout for some Golden Age Batman, Golden Age horror. I'm still working to complete my G.I. Joe run, and I'm still working to complete my classic X-Men run. So I scaled back considerably my spending for this year because my wife and I are working on getting out of debt, and we have to put those goals ahead of my collecting goals. So I did scale back, but as you can see, there is at least 3 books on here that are going to run a decent amount. I've been tracking Hawkman number 4, and yeah, it's going to cost between $400 and $800 grade dependent. House of Secrets 92 is obviously going to be the most expensive, and that's just going to be what it's going to be. So, because with James Mangold directing a big budget feature film, who knows where it's going to go price wise. So, but I'm still committed to trying to track it down. We'll just see what happens with it. Oh yeah. There are 2 Firestorm series. Be sure not to confuse. Yeah. So there was Volume 1, which is the one that I showed. This is Volume number 1. Okay. But then the other one had it was The Fury of Firestorm, and that's considered Volume 2. Now, a lot of the keys that I go over in my Firestorm video have come from Volume 2 because Volume 1 was pretty short-lived. Let's see. I'd take the reprints or facsimiles. I do have facsimiles of almost all the major key books, but I want to own the original. Let's see. I had Joseph Badius says I had my All-Star Comic slab, came in a 5.0. Nice. That's a respectable grade for that book. So yeah, so those are my collecting goals for this year. Just a couple final words about strategy. As I've shared in many of the top 10 list videos, if you're like me and you're setting collecting goals, put it out there. Even if you just grab swipe a grab a JPEG of the cover, put it out there, because that helps draw people to you and lets them know, hey, he's looking for this book, he's looking to buy that book. You want to make sure and put it out there what you're looking for. Second, you want to make sure to build up a cash reserve or a credit reserve that you can pay off quickly, so you don't get hit with interest. Because any gains, this is the thing I learned, and had to kind of accept. If a comic book makes gains, but I bought it on a credit card, the interest is going to completely eat up all the gains that that I would have had on it. And I'm not saying that like I'm not into the whole like kind of flipping kind of thing. I do sell books, but I don't like I've tried to go away from buying books just to sell. I'm more looking at trying to pick out choice books that I want to get, or collections. So that's and so keep your money ready, look for good deals, make friends with comic shops and dealers, and don't buy into the hype for different books. Those are just a couple of thoughts of mine. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in tonight and for just being here with me. This live stream went a little bit longer than I expected it to, but that was fun. If you haven't checked these out on the channel, I do have a top 10 Booster Gold comics to add to your collection video. It came out before the announcement. So if you got some of the books before the announcement, there's certain books on there that have gone up in value. But I think a lot of them are still in back issue bins, and I'd recommend looking for them and picking them up. Top 10 Punisher comics to add to your collection is another video that is live on the channel that you can find. Make sure and be with us on Monday for Monday Hauls Live. That's Monday at 10 p.m. Central. Then we've got the giveaway show on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Central. Next Friday, a week from today, I'll be doing the second in my creator interview series, and this time I'll be welcoming to the show, to the channel, David Papos. David is the writer for the current volume of Savage Avengers. He also has some creator-owned titles called The OZ, Going to the Chapel, Spencer and Locke, and Scout's Honor, which is my personal favorite, and that's what got me to reach out to him, and he responded quickly. In addition, I'm also reaching out to other folks and seeing what they seeing about having them come on the show to do that interview. That's a once a month series that I'm doing, where I'm doing an in-depth podcast style 90-minute interview with different comic book creators, professional comic book creators. So I hope that you tune in for that. Last thing I want to make sure and mention, I've mentioned it a couple times over the course of the video. Pop Culture Power Show is coming to Stafford, Texas, which is right on the outskirts of the greater Houston area, March 31st through the April 2nd. You can go to powershows.com, prshows.com, and you can buy your tickets. And here's the fun part. So Strictly had reached out to me, and so this is the deal. I want to make sure I give you guys the correct information on this. You're going to want to hear this, because this is a discount code that I'm giving off. Let's see. Okay. So the deal is, okay. So the discount code, I'm not sure when it's going to go live, but the discount code for tickets is going to be Carlos Collects Comics, and you'll get 10% off your tickets. Plus, you'll get 10% off your tickets. Plus, if you, where is it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Plus, I'll have a special prize for you. If you buy one of the tickets using my discount code, I will have a special prize for you. I don't have it here with me. It is not one of the stickers. It's something different, because I'm all about the little pieces of merch and swag and stuff. And this one's a fun one. So yeah, so if you buy the ticket using my discount code, um, you'll get 10% off. Plus, you will get a special additional freebie. The only place you can get it is right here on the channel and using that discount code. So that's a great thing for you if you're looking to come if you haven't bought it yet. Okay, El Green is asking about signature pricing. I have heard numbers, but they're not definite yet. You know, I would plan on, you know, nowadays in today's convention market, I would plan on paying no less than $10 per signature, and at least I would say a good place to mark is $20 a signature. If it's a raw book. If it is a slabbed book, remember it's going to be the price of the signature to the creator plus the grading and processing fees from the vendor who is handling the whole the actual process itself. So you want to keep that in mind. You know, if you're on a budget like me, the thing to do is just kind of set aside your money and look for, you know, look for options. You know, just get what you can. I did that with Jim Lee. I've done that with Jim Lee every time he's been at a convention that I've been able to go to. I just go ahead. I buy I buy what I can, and I set the money aside. I buy what I can, and you know, you know, it's 6 books at a time, 3 books at a time, but over time, you will be able to, you'll be able to get the books. But I do recommend getting signatures from Roy Thomas for this one. Same for Larry Hama, because those two guys been around a long time, and you want to make sure you get your signature from them if you want to. So yeah, there will be a discount code, Carl's Collects Comics, and I'll be telling you more about it, and then I'll be sharing a little bit more about the special giveaway that you'll get if you buy using that code, in addition to the 10% off. So this will be over and above the 10% off. And then I think there's a T-shirt also. But you know, we'll get into that. No, we'll get into that later. Thanks for tuning in so much, guys. It's much appreciated. I've enjoyed hanging out with you, and I will see you next time when we go. When we go live again. So make sure to be here next Wednesday, and I'll see you then.